Hello everyone, myself Neelam Kansel, and today we are going to discuss a very interesting topic. So before starting with the topic, I would like to have one mind exercise with you. So I request each and everyone to take one notebook and one pen to perform this exercise. So on the screen, now you will get one puzzle. In that puzzle, you will be getting one hint point. And with the hint points, you have to solve the puzzle. So let's begin with the puzzle. So now on the screen, you have a big box, and that box is divided into a many boxes. Below that, I have given you a hint. That is, you have to find out the synonymous word for the divergence. So another hints are being given on the screen. So let's perform this activity and complete the puzzle. So yes, you all are right. Today we are going to discuss about the communication. So communication is a very basic activity that every individual do in their day-to-day life. In the mean of listening, speaking, writing or having some actions. So the communication word is derived from a Latin word communicare, which means to share. So communication, it means conveying meanings of one individual or a group to the another one by having a mutual understanding signs and symbols. So let's start with the definition of communication. So communication is the act of imparting and exchanging the views or thoughts or any information from one person to the another person by doing some activities, by writing or by with a spoken words. So this communication has a different levels by which we can have a proper communication. So that levels of communications are intrapersonal communication, interpersonal communication, transpersonal communication, small group communication or a public communication. So each of this level we will be discussing in detail. So first level of communication is intrapersonal communication. That means the individual will talk to their own self. It will be like the person will have their own ventilation to their own self. So another level of communication is interpersonal communication. That means two persons will sit together and they will share their views, and the sender and receiver will give their feedbacks to each other. Next level of communication is transpersonal communication. In that, the person will talk to their believers, they will talk to their God, or they will have their communication with the supreme power, such as they will do the meditation, they will have prayers, and many more. Next level of communication is small group communication. In that, the group of people will come together and they will share their thoughts to each of one, such as the person who are meeting in the conferences, seminars, or when the nurse meet to the family members of their patients. Another level of communication is public communication. So public communication, in this the nurse or the any healthcare worker will have their communication, or they will express their information to a large number of people in the publicly. For the best example of this public communication, a nurse who is giving a health education in the community basis or in mass media. We have some street plays, we have role plays. With that, we convey the information with a large number of people. So this is the public communication. Further, we are moving forward with the types of communication. So communication is mainly divided into two types. One is one-way communication and another one is two-way communication. In one-way communication, only one person will talk and give the information to the another person or to the group. So in this, they will not have the feedback from the receivers. The best example for the one-way communication, when the teacher is teaching in the classroom, she will just give her information or her knowledge to her students. But at the same time, the students will not give their feedback to the teacher. The next type of communication is two-way communication. In the two-way communication, the sender and the receiver, they both will have an interaction with each other and they will share their feedbacks in the same time to each other. So the communication has many other types, so which we will be discussing one by one. So another type of communication which is based on the relationship, which we have already discussed. In the communication which is based on relationship contains interpersonal communication, intrapersonal communication, transpersonal communication, mass communication, group communication, and etc. In interpersonal communication, there will be two persons who will express their feelings, their thoughts, their views to each other. The same time, they will share their feedbacks to each other. Another type of communication based on the relationship is transpersonal communication. In this, the person will have their talk with the supreme power, such as God, and they will be having prayers. They will do the prayer. They will do the prayers. They will do the meditation, and they will follow some cultural rituals. Next type of communication is mass communication. This mass communication is based on the large number of people. The large number of group will come together and they will share their thoughts to each other. So next, moving further with another type of communication which is based on the organization structure. So it is mainly divided into two types: formal communication and informal communication. In the formal communication, it is very structured, it is authorized, and it is properly organized form of communication. This type of communication mainly we see in the big companies, big organizations, hospitals, IT companies, and many more companies. In the other way, this informal communication is uncontrolled, unconditional, and unstructured. So, in informal communication, we can see this communication in the families. The person will talk with their friends. So, this will be called as a informal communication. Means there will be no restriction of talk. They can talk in whatever they feel. They can speak directly to that person. But the same way, in the formal communication, the person has to think before talking to the other person. So next type of communication which is based on direction. So it will be upward communication. So this upward communication means the bottom level people will convey their message to the top level of people. For the example, any employees want to convey their problems, their thoughts, their views related to the company, they can go to the downward from their level to the upper level. Like the company employees will convey their message to the employer. Another type of communication is downward communication. In the downward communication, the higher authority person will convey their message to the lower employees or to the lower level of people. So in this, if the authority person want to convey some policies, some procedures, or any related discussion with the employees who are working in their company, they will do their communication from the top level to the down level. So it is called as a downward communication. Another type of communication is a horizontal communication. In this horizontal communication, two same level people will have the communication with each other. But these two same level people will be working in a different departments. Such as a nursing teacher want to convey that her students will be posted in the clinical setup. That time she will inform to the sister in charges about this message. It is the horizontal communication. So another type of communication is diagonal communication. In the diagonal communication, what happens? The lower level of person from the one department or the same department will directly have the communication with the higher level of people. For example, if the student is suffering with some issues in her class, she will be directly talk to the principal about that. So it will be called as a diagonal communication. So another type of communication which is based on channel is verbal communication and non-verbal communication. In verbal communication, the person will share their knowledge or they will share their information by using the words. This verbal communication is again divided into oral form and the written form. So, oral form means with the words they will express their feelings, and in the written form, the person will write the message or they will type the message, they will convey their thoughts to the other person. In the non-verbal communication means with the signs or symbols, the person will try to say their feelings to the other person, such as the person will show some facial expressions, the person will show anger, person will be very happy, the person will show their feelings by touching like tactile communication and many more we can use to convey a message to the other person. So these are the types which we have seen. Now moving further with the factors which will be influencing on this communication. So the first factor will be perception. Whenever a nurse is speaking with the patient, she has to understand the perceiving level of that patient. If the patient is not in the condition of listening, so nurse should stop her communication with that patient and she should understand the level of perceiving of that patient. Another factor which will be influencing the communication is empathy. So, each nurse has to understand or feel the pain or feel the emotions of that patient by taking herself to that patient's level. It means we have to keep our feet in the patient's shoes. Then only we will come to know what patient is actually feeling and what the patient want to tell us. Another factor which will influence is attention. So, whenever we are communicating with the patient, we have to see whether the patient is fully attentive or patient is a partially attentive. If the patient is partially attentive, we have to talk with the patient and we have to convince that patient to listen to our talks. If the patient is not fully attentive, whatever we are trying to convey, the patient will not understand. So, another factor which will be influencing on the communication is building rapport. So, how do we speak with the patient or the other person will have very essential role in maintaining a rapport with that another person. If we are very harsh or we are not understanding what the patient want to speak or the person want to convey, then the person will not be very comfortable to share their thoughts or their emotion to us. So whenever we are having a communication with the patient, we have to build a good rapport with the patient or the person. So another factor which will influence on the communication is cultural context. Each nurse has to understand the cultural beliefs of the patient, and according to that we have to treat that patient. For example, if the patient is Jain and he is not eating the garlic and onion, so we cannot force that patient to eat that. We have to understand their beliefs. We have to make available then a non-vegetarian or a garlic and onion free diet to that patient. So it is very essential to understand the cultural belief of the patient. Another factor which will influence on the communication is space and distance. If we have a distance from the one person or another person, we will not be able to send a proper message or we will be giving a wrong message to that person. Another factor which will influence the communication is time. So, each one has to keep that this thing in their mind. Time is very, very important. Time can be a person, if a person is not in mood or a person is very angry, that time if you want to give any guidance to that person will not listen to us or they will not convey what we want to tell them. So we have to see the time when we have to speak with that person. So these are the factors which will affect or influence in the communication. So this communication is always is in the process. So what will be the process for the communication? So this process contains sender, message, encoding, then the channel. After the channel there will be a decoding. Then after the decoding there will be a receiver, and after the receiver there is the feedback. So each of one we will be discussing in detail. Before sending any message, we required one referent. Referent means we required a motivation to send our thoughts, our message to the another person. So let's begin with the process of communication. It starts from the sender. So who is the sender? The sender is a person who want to share their thoughts, their feelings, their information or their views to the other person. So this sender will send their thoughts in the form of message. So message is a symbolic expression of the thoughts to the receiver. So after the message, this thought will be encoded. What is encoding? Encoding is any form, means it can be symbol or it can be a sign which the sender want to send into the receiver. After the message is encoded, it will be going through the media or through the channel to the receiver. So media or the channel can be a medium by which the sender will send the message to the receiver. So nowadays we have many medias to convey our messages. Like we can share our message through the WhatsApp, we can share our message through the Instagram, we can share our message from Facebook and many more media nowadays we have. After the using this media, the message will reach to the receiver. So the receiver is a person to whom the sender has sent the message. So this receiver will decode that message. So decoding means understanding the message which is being sent by the sender. After the decoding, the person who has received the message will understand and he will give her or his feedback to the sender. So feedback will be response which is been given by the receiver to the sender. So this is the process which will work in the communication. So again I would like to share this process to everyone. So communication process is working from the sender to the feedback. So the sender will encode the message to the receiver which will be transmitted by using the channel, and after the receiver receive their message, the receiver will give their response to the sender. So this is the cycle or the process of communication. So next we are moving further with a very, very important topic, that is therapeutic communication. So, what is the therapeutic communication? The therapeutic communication is the interaction between nurse and patient. Whenever a nurse is treating to the patient, she has to maintain a good communication with the patient as well as their family members. So, this therapeutic communication has some basic aspects which we have to keep in our mind whenever we are having a communication with the patient. So the nurse should be an active listener when she is talking with the patient. Whenever she is talking, she has to maintain a good distance with that patient. Whenever she is talking, she has to nod her head or she has to show that she is very interested to listen what that patient want to speak. For this, we have a good acronym, that is SOLA. S stands for sit facing the person, it shows interest in the talk. O stands for open position. Sit relaxed with arms and legs uncrossed. L stands for lean forward. Leaning towards the person makes them feel that you are interested in listening. E stands for eye contact. Establish and maintain eye contact. R stands for relax. It shadows that you are comfortable with the person and interested to listen. So, this is the SOLA. Another aspect of therapeutic communication is using silence. Whenever the person is talking, at the same time we should not interrupt that person. First, we have to listen what they want to say. Let them ventilate themselves, and afterwards, whatever we feel, we have to talk to that person. So, using silence is a very important aspect of therapeutic communication. Another aspect is accepting. Whatever person is saying, we have to accept. We should not judge that person by saying that you are wrong. Whatever their feelings they are trying to share, we have to accept that. So another aspect of therapeutic communication is giving recognition. It means whenever we are moving from the patient, we have to tell, I noticed that you have taken the medication. So it will not be a compliment for the patient, but the patient will feel that we are interested in them or we are looking for them. They will not feel lonely. They will feel that yes, nurse is looking for me. Another aspect of therapeutic communication is self-offering. Whenever you have some time, you have to go and you have to speak with the patient. So it will give a motivation to that person or that patient that yes, there are somebody is there for me, or they will ventilate their thoughts, their emotions to you. So it will be very comfortable environment for the patient for their recovery. Next aspect of therapeutic communication is clarification. Whatever communication you had with your patient, you have to clarify by repeating the same thoughts to that patient. So that means if wrong message which we have received, we can clarify that or we can correct that by clarification with that patient. Another aspect of therapeutic communication is summarizing. Whatever communication we had with the patient, we have to repeat the same communication with that patient. So, if any wrong message we have received, we can correct it in that same time. So, these are the aspects of therapeutic communication. Next, moving further with the barriers of communication. So, what do you mean by barriers? Barriers are any disturbance in between the communication. So, there are mainly 6 barriers which we are going to discuss today. First barrier of communication is physical barrier. In the physical barrier, the surrounding will be disturbing while having a communication. Like there will be a noise, there will be a not proper space, so we will not be able to convey the message to the other person. Next, another barrier of communication is physiological barrier. In this, the person will have some ear deficiency, the person will be not able to have good words, or the person will have the slur speech, or any physiological discomfort can cause the barrier in the communication. Another barrier of communication is psychological barrier, which is very essential and important barrier for the communication. If the person is not in a good mind of state, so we will not be able to have a good communication with that patient or that person. If the person is angry, if the patient is having anxiety, if the person is having fear, so we cannot convey the message to that person. So psychological stability is very important whenever we have the communication with the other person. Another barrier of communication is environmental barrier. So environmental barrier means the surroundings. So any disturbance in the surrounding can cause the barrier in the communication. So last and the most important barrier of communication is language. As we nurses know, so language plays a very essential role in the communication. For example, if the person is from the another state is coming to the another state, so he or she will be having some difficulty in the language. So the nurse will not be able to convey her information to the patient, or the person or the patient will not be able to convey the feelings to that nurse due to the language barrier. So these are the six most important barriers which will be having disturbance in the communication. So now we will discuss in brief the tools which will be used in the effective communication. So now you will have a screen in that we can see the tools which are very essential for the effective communication. During the communication it should be two ways. It involves active listening. It reflects the accountability of speaker and listener. It utilizes feedback. It is free from stress. It is clear. So these are the tools which we have to use during the effective communication. So here we have completed our topic of communication skills. So on the screen again you will have the e-poster which I have made to brief the communication topic. So in this we can see the definition of communication. After the definition, we have seen the levels of communication. After the communication, we have seen the process of communication. After the process of communication, we have seen types. After the types, we have seen the factors which are influencing in the effective communication, and at the last, we have seen the barriers of communication. I hope the topic communication skill is clear to all. Here I am sharing some questions based on the topic which we have seen today. In that we will be having a different kind of questions which will be in the form of MCQs. So I request each and everyone to solve these questions. Also I have made the Google form sheet for the questions. But during the video I cannot share that link to each and everyone. For that I am sharing one video of MCQs to each and everyone. The questions will be based on what is the communication, what is the definition of communication, what are the goals of communication, what is the barriers, which are the barriers of communication, and many more questions we will be seeing in the MCQ. So, before ending with the topic, I would like to have one poem with you all. Let us speak with open heart, with empathy, a brand new start. For in the art of sharing, we truly see the power of communication setting spirit free. Thank you so much for listening me.